Good morning. Rev Walter here. Glad you could join me and join us on one of our other recordings. We know we do this every day, Monday to Friday. We are here and sharing on great tips and ways in which you can build and establish yourself and grow your business. And we've been looking at a series called the what's it called? How to establish a strong brand presence. We're in the fourth part of this, and it's been very eye-opening. Now, like as I said already, that if you want to be part of what we're doing, you can do so by always joining on our various days to do for our live recordings. On Monday, it's yours truly. I come here with Unleashing Your Destiny, with Quantum Leap and all these programs. And then on Tuesdays, we have Dr. Sunshine Sylvia, who comes through with, Mindset Change program. And then on Wednesday, we have the open market. So the open market is a bit open. So we tend to leave that one open, and you are the one who decides and chooses how exactly you can take advantage of it. But we do that every Wednesday. We have different people right now. We're going through a series that's connected to the idea and concept of the mompreneurs. So that's very interesting. And then on Thursdays, we have Dr. Nelly with her show, Prosperity for Your Soul. Dr. Nelly's been very, very busy. In fact, we have a big event this weekend. That's her birthday. She normally celebrates the Real Woman Summit. So you could be part of that. If you're very interested in becoming a part of that, and you want to know more, inbox me, just message me. You can see my details, just simply send a message and say, I heard you talk about the Real Woman Summit. Just get in touch and I have a surprise for you. So get in touch on how you could be part of that particular event. So if you are interested in winning yourself a free complimentary ticket from me as a member of this platform, simply message. That's the homework for you. Go look for the message in there. I'll give you details of how you can get yourself your ticket. So we have 9 tickets that are available. So take advantage so that you can be able to get one of those tickets and then be able to attend on Friday and on Sunday. There's the usual array of great presenters coming through. Take advantage and be part of those. So on Thursday is what I say, Dr. Nelly. Then on Friday, we usually have our health tips program. This is something that's still being worked on. We're supposed to have something special that'll be agreed on with one of the leading health companies. And so when that's done, then we'll be a part of them. So then let me jump straight into my series. I've been running a series called the how to establish a strong brand presence. That's the one. And what we're doing is we are going to be walking through the stage that we're teaching today. So let me get into that. So if you recall, as a recap, there were a couple of steps we've been learning. Number one, self-reflection. And in that, we talk about understanding your values, strengths, passions, and skills, and also identifying your unique selling points and what sets you apart from others. And then on number 2 is define your purpose. And by so doing, you clearly define your personal and professional goals, and then determine the impact you want to make in your industry or community. Then next, we looked at identify your target audience, in which we talked about it, identifying the audience you want to reach and influence, and then understand their needs, challenges, and interests. And then we looked at the fourth, which is craft your personal brand statement, a very, very important one, that one. And then not only do you craft your personal brand statement, you need to develop a concise and compelling statement that communicates who you are, what you do, and the value you bring. And then number 5, we looked at build an online presence. That's what we finished with yesterday. And in that one, we talked about create a professional website or blog showcasing your expertise, and then optimize your LinkedIn profile with professional photo and comprehensive summary. We looked at that last week. And so I think this is the one now where we're going deep. Now, this is the one that today we're going to go quite deep. And this one deals with a very, very interesting topic. We're saying content creation. So today I hope to be able to cover this one of content creation and networking. So let's look at content creation. So first and foremost, in content creation, there are 2 things. Number 1, share valuable content related to expertise on social media platforms. So now some people have got a bit of a challenge. They wonder whether it is important to be a part of social media or not. I'm here to tell you that if you do not have a presence on social media, it actually could work against you. Why do I say so? Because we live at a time when the social media platforms have become the new marketplace. And so since they have become the new marketplace, then the big question is, are you in the market? Why do you think people who sell merchandise and goods will go to the marketplace? They do so because in the marketplace is where you get the foot traffic. Remember that. In the marketplace is where you get the foot traffic, and placement in business cannot be overemphasized. If you do not locate yourself or place yourself where the traffic is able to see what you're doing, the chances of you becoming known and becoming recognized diminish. There's a reason why street vendors are in the street. They are in the street precisely because that's where the foot traffic is. And the funny and ironic thing of life is that as most people are, passing by, they will say, oh, I forgot, I need to buy tomatoes. Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then there are those also who go out there looking to buy something. So they'll say, you know what, let me just see if I can find these before I go all the way into the market. So many people love the convenience of finding what they need when they need to see it. And that's why billboards are on, you notice that junctions with high traffic have a lot of billboards, and the price to advertise on those billboards is far higher than a billboard located on, for argument's sake, Lilai Road. You know, Lilai Road is not exactly a small road. Yes, there's traffic on that road, but a billboard on Lilai Road will never be the same price as a billboard on the junction of UTH, Independence Avenue, or Manderhill, the most famous junction. Now we also have Arcades, Flyover Bridge. Those areas are very traffic laden. So you find that placing your ad on such a platform will yield better results because more people see it. Why? More eyeballs. And that's why having an online presence and that presence being on socials is very effective. So if you're listening to me and you don't have an online presence, you ought to really think about that a bit more. I think it's Dr. Nelly who always makes fun and says, when we type your name, what does it say? Does it say, did you mean? Does Google have a hiccup? So if Google has a hiccup, then definitely means there is a problem there. And it means you need to assert your presence there. Now, even as you assert your presence, even as you get yourself on Google and as you get yourself on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, which is now X, and TikTok, which is very popular with lots of traffic, and YouTube, the real question is, are you producing content that is relevant to your space and that will cause you to be seen as an authority? Remember, there is this formula we teach all the time called KLT, know, like, trust. And in the know, like, trust formula, what we're saying is people need to first know who you are. And how do they know who you are? Because you are churning out valuable content related to your expertise on these platforms. So all the time you're giving out nuggets, you're giving out videos, you're creating content. And content creation is not easy, eh? Like, what is it that's going to capture the attention of the audience and the people that are following you? So this idea is very powerful and you need to be consistent with it. So you need to share this value and then make sure that it's value that's going to attract who you're trying to get on board. So I know that sometimes we get overwhelmed when we look and we see our numbers aren't that great and somebody else has got greater numbers. For me, that's not important. What is important far more than numbers is, are these people the ones that are your potential clients? You know that you've got potential clients because when you get to sing, you're able to move product, you're able to activate service. These are the two things that get us out there. So remember, when you go on the street, what do people shout? Tomato, tomato, onion, 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 pano, which means onions are here, onions are here. They will be doing that. And you'll find that even here in our streets, when these guys with the bicycles are passing by looking for old batteries and old geysers, they have a big loudspeaker going, Magiza na mabatri osila tigula, right? They'll be going around making that noise. And so they know that people are going to hear that and go, oh, well, yes, I do have an old battery. And they'll go out there to intercept them and say, hey, here's a battery. How much can you buy this for? So the idea is to draw attention to yourself. That's called showcasing. And if you're not showcasing your skills and abilities in the marketplace, how is anybody supposed to know what you are and what you do? That's why, for example, LinkedIn is very important on LinkedIn to be updating your expertise and your CV and making sure people can see that, especially if you're a job seeker. If you're a person like me, it depends on who we're targeting again. I have to make sure that people know what skills and things I do. And that way, it becomes easier for them to remember me when they want to interact with me. It's the reason why even in branding, we have all these merchandise, pens, pencils, we have, apps, we have shirts and whatever with logos. The whole idea isn't just to let people know, hey, I'm just a big pro, but the idea is to let them remember you. So at the time when they need you, they can look at, oh yes, by the way, I need to get in touch with Just a Big Pro, and they will be able to get in. Why? Because you have Unbelievable. So sorry. We had a long break there. Internet issues. I've just got really bad data situation today. I don't understand what's going on. So let's try and continue. I do apologize for that break. So anyway, where were we? So we were talking about content creation, and I was saying that you need valuable content related to your expertise on the social media platforms. Do it in such a way that it's engaging. That's one of the other things you need to learn about social media. It has to be engaging. That way you really do begin to connect with the audience. Facebook is relentless when it comes to penalizing content creators who do not engage with their audience. I mean, that's one of the most shocking, depressing, but serious facts about social media, especially Facebook. For us here in Zambia, my platforms, Facebook is the largest by far. And what happens with Facebook is if you do not engage with the audience, they will drop you. They will actually minimize your exposure and the algorithms will stop serving your page. Okay? Sorry, Shipande, it was just an epic comment. So, you find that they will penalize you if you're not engaging. So literally, whether you like it or you're gonna go like somebody here, like somebody there, comment there. And then that way the algo will say, okay, he's engaging with the audience. Then they will serve your page more. Also, what you'll notice that if you post and then engage with the audience by reacting to their comments, the algos realize that, okay, this is not just a robot, this is a real human trying to engage with the audience. So again, they will actually serve your page more. So you'll notice that if you don't engage much with your audience, the algorithms will also hold back your content. If you engage more, they will also serve you more. And here's another thing. When people comment on your page, it will also show on the walls of their friends. It will say, you know, John commented or John shared, John commented on this. So that one again has a very big impact in terms of causing your wall to reach more people. So engaging on socials is such a big deal. And if it's too cumbersome and too challenging for you, you can actually engage companies and organizations that actually do that on your behalf. We've got a number of colleagues, for example, in PLD, there's Michael Matongo. He runs a company. They actually run and manage people's pages. They're not the only ones. There's a number out there who do management of pages on behalf of clients. Again, this is to ensure there's that engagement going on. Because if you don't engage with your audience, the algorithms penalize you. So create a content calendar to maintain consistency. So you've got to be very consistent with your nuggets and what you drop on socials, because the more you are consistent, the more it will be seen. The algos will realize that you're busy, and it will begin to serve that to people who have an interest in what you do. And then one of the other strategies you must also do, you can't run away from this, is go and comment on pages with audiences you feel are somehow relevant to your content. So don't just go comment on anybody's page, because you might attract some real rubbish, but go comment on people who you feel would have the same type of audience that you're trying to look for. So in marketing, we talk about something called an avatar or a customer profile, and what normally happens is, what kind of people would like your product? What kind of people would like your service? And so once you identify those people and their characteristic traits, then you need to ask yourself a question: what would be their interests? And then from there, that gives you an idea. So you start looking for pages that are related to the content you want to, and people you want to attract. But even more importantly, not just that, but you also want to kind of reach those people so that you can comment on their pages, and depending on the kind of comment you make, the page owners themselves will react, or the audience around you will react. That's very, very good, because it creates a followership. So that's a very critical thing to do. So make sure that you do go out there. So in brand establishment, and in this whole thing about brand presence, you can't run away from doing that. So ideally, just identify where you feel comfortable with, and then reach to those people. You will be amazed how much you can grow some organic traffic very quickly by doing so. So make sure you comment on a regular basis, give your views, and then you will see. If it's your page, then obviously the page must comment in line with the services it offers. I've noticed a number of people who comment with their page, with their business page, but they're commenting on very personal stuff. I think that blurs your work. You need to be very clear. If you want to do what I call commentary on some of these platforms, then make sure you have another page that can do that. But if it's your business, try to be brand consistent. So whatever you push out there, wherever you comment, has to be consistent with your brand. And that way you are able to maintain that consistency. So remember, the other thing is being consistent in posting, because a lot of people tend to be challenged by that. Many people will post today, then post after 5 days, then post after 2 days, then post after 7 days. I mean, that's so inconsistent. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. And over time, you'll just lose all your strength. So the best is to be very consistent. If you're going to post daily, do so. And what's the frequency of daily posting? What time are you going to post? When is it likely you have the highest number of audience views? The algos on Facebook will show you, the insights will give you an idea when most of your audiences are on the platform. And so you can learn to be very strategic in your posts so that you're catching all these people at the various times. Very, very effective. They also have a scheduler. So I do scheduling. I'm speaking to you right now, posts are popping on my wall because I schedule these things early in the morning, like when I'm up doing my devotion and my prayer time and my reflection time. That's when I also post all my posts, all of them. So meaning within the course of the day, I am not really going again to post anything. I'm just pretty much reacting to people, because you will get the notifications to tell you that so-and-so commented, so-and-so commented. So you go over there, like. Those who you don't agree with, you just leave blank and on you go on. And then you engage one or two. You respond to one or two. And that's very effective. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, do that over time. It starts to show. And then remember, we also have this whole concept, and maybe I shouldn't even speak about it because it's a bit different. So let me pause here. I'm going to go back to content creation. So I'm going to do networking next week. But on content creation, let's continue a bit more on that one. You've got to be sure that your content is consistently posted. So, for example, on Facebook, I'll go a bit deeper on this now. On Facebook, you will see that they have a planner. So you've got two options. You've got Meta and you've got the normal Facebook app. Both have a scheduling platform. The Meta is more specific, more precise. You have a bigger calendar. You can go further in the week. For example, I did a series called Pastor's Life Hack. So I've just done 30 life hacks, and I've programmed all 30 all the way to what's the day today? To the 7th of April. So I've got these things already. 7th of May. We're in April already. Yeah. So 7th of May, I've got all my posts, all 30 of them already programmed. I also was doing a crazy little series called the Walter F. Mwambazi. F stands for. So I've got about 8 or 9 of those. So what I'll do is I'll create these things and then just schedule them. That's really one of the biggest pluses on some of these socials. You don't have to kill yourself going there every second to do anything. You can literally post in advance. And then all you do later is just go and like, and you're done. And if you want, you can comment on 1 or 2. If you need to, just say, yes, awesome, thanks for your contribution, whatever. Especially when you're starting, because when you're starting, you don't really have the numbers. So thanks for your contribution. Oh, really, do you think so? Those are very good. But what I've learned also is engaging works far more powerfully when you ask what we call open-ended questions. Let me give you an example. Somebody says, oh, I agree with you completely. Then you can always post underneath and say, thanks for your comment. What things stand out most for you in this? Yeah. Or do you have ideas you could add for us? You know, some to learn to ask open-ended questions. What do you mean when you say this? Or teach me and show me why you disagree. You know, things like that. I disagree. This is rubbish. So you can always engage that same person who says rubbish. I know some people get so emotional with social media. I'm telling you, learn to be detached from social media, because that's just a platform. People are talking. They don't have a face. They don't have any appearance. So many people are free to come out of the cocoons and make their comments. But you don't need to take those comments personally. A lot of people tend to be very affected by what people think. Don't. As long as you're consistent with your brand, it doesn't really matter. And what matters most is engaging. So you'll find that many times negative, I don't know why I hate this fact, but it's true. Negative posts tend to get more spin. You know, if it bleeds, it leads. And it's so annoying. It's not what we intend, but there's a way that you can spin that and it can create powerful engagement. I've learned that you can do that very well. So you can take what looks like a very negative thing and you can work around it and make it turn to the positive. That's what you can do. You can actually use that in a profound and powerful way, and it can do wonders for you. So the key lies in learning how to take what is potentially negative and spin it around to your benefit. I do that a lot. Obviously, I'm a bit of a, how can I put it? I'm a bit of a hard guy, and I do have a bit of a reputation, and I'm known out there for being a bit on the blunt side and whatever it is. You know, some people say controversial, I suppose so. But for me, what I've learned is that I've gained a lot of colleagues in business, literally through the cell code controversy. And the issue isn't being controversial for the sake of being controversial, but it's being contrarian. Like if everybody's saying yes, 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 all you do is just be contrarian by saying, why are you all agreeing? What's there to agree to? Now, the truth is, you're not disagreeing, but in the minds of people, they will take it like you're disagreeing, and that will start a conversation. Why are you saying this? And that's it, you've started the conversation. And you can actually build on that. You can say, no, I'm just wondering why you are agreeing. So they'll ask you, so are you disagreeing? No, I'm not. I just want to hear why you guys are agreeing. So that's a conversation point. Well, it's because of this and that and that and that. And you can pick an item in there and say, maybe help me understand more, because I'm failing to understand, especially point number 3. All you're doing is just engaging. And by asking the right questions, you can get people to come out. And one thing I learned, and I learned this of all people, I learned this from one of the most controversial elders I've ever seen in our circles, and that's a man called Maponga. One thing I learned from Maponga, which really humbled me, is his concept of saying, look, we're not here to debate, we're here to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm going to learn from you. And I think if we all approach this subject with the heart of learning, then we can make progress. We can have the conversations. I love that, because by having the conversations, you engage. By engaging, remember, what is your goal? Creating content. That's it. And remember, the more you are effective in this process and model, the more people start to tag people. And you need that for your page. So they will tag a friend and say, boy, come and answer this. Hey, John, you were talking about this yesterday. What do you think? You know, you start seeing those tags. You start seeing your page being shared, and then when they share, they go argue on their platform. I've many times I do that. I also go on those platforms and I'll either agree or I disagree, depending on the individual. I'm very strategic. So when it's somebody with a very large, although you know what, I do it with everybody, but there are some people with very large followings. So if I see somebody with a large following disagree, then it depends. If I feel that I'm going to be roasted on that platform because it's a very strong disagreement and it's on their turf, I will not engage. But if I feel that it is in agreement and they're agreeing, then I will engage. So if it's not in agreement, I don't engage on their platform, because that's an invitation to be roasted alive. So you stay away from that. But if I see that that's a positive, then it's a big platform, then I can go engage by simply saying thank you for sharing, and then people can start commenting under that. It's very effective, and what it does is it gives you organic growth. And you know, back in the day, I used to pay for these likes and things, but that's because I didn't know. Now that I know, you really don't want to pay to buy likes, because there's no engagement. You want real organic engagement, and people lock in and start following, and it's real following, like real following. These people become your advocates, these people become your advertisers, these people become your testimonials. They will go out there and talk about you, and that in turn will cause the growth. That's why one of the other things we do at our circle is we allow our platforms to be shareable, to be taggable. So it's different when you're an individual, you don't want to tag, but a page, it should be tagged. Really, it should be, so that they can tag you. The more tags you get, Facebook realizes, this is a person with clout, so they're going to actually give you more coverage. Your page is going to feature in more places. That's very important. All that is part of being effective in content creation. So I hope you guys were able to learn a thing or two in connection with this. And those of you who are watching afterwards on recording, you should be able to learn a thing or two. That content creation is one of the biggest factors to your page growing. If you're not creating content related, by the way, related to your business, don't just drop content for the sake of dropping content, but always find a way to relate it to your business. And that way it's really going to augur very well. So really, that's what it is. Sorry about the loss of the internet earlier. I noticed I still have internet issues. I'm looking at my MiFi here. It's still giving me a red light, so meaning there is a problem there. But nonetheless, I am connecting to another platform on my phone. That's the one that cut earlier on. So it's always a bit with these things. But nonetheless, I'm glad you were here. Remember to share this with people. And we will see you tomorrow when Dr. Sunshine Sylvia comes through with her platform, which is the Mindset Change Program. Have a great day. God bless you guys.